Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pit Talk, pulling the pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G. Yeah, anyways, if you don't follow us on all social media platforms, everywhere you get your podcasts, especially on Spotify, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again with another session, this time with a special guest by the name of Elijah Maine. He's got plenty of business under his biceps. I don't know where they're at, but they're definitely there. Elijah, go ahead and say hello to the listeners, please.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Sweet. So I appreciate you taking the time to come on. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of business. Family's important to you. I know that we talked last week about it, but we're just going to hit it. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, where you're from, married with kids, and how long have you served and in what capacities?
All right. From Rochester, New York. My accent is gone because haven't been back in 20 years. But married. So I've been married for 6 years. My anniversary was yesterday, actually. Married for 6 years. I got 4 kids and one on the way. So my wife is 8.5 months pregnant. She is due next month. So we're looking forward to that one. Yeah, from Rochester, New York. I served in the Navy for 20 years, joined in 2002, just retired last year in December. I was a CB in the Navy, so the construction force of the Navy. I did 12 deployments in 20 years, and it was awesome. So did a few combat, few luxury. You know, I've had some tough ones, but I've had some really easy ones. So I can't say my whole time was bad.
Yeah, of course. Okay, sweet. Question for you. Since we're getting right into it, you're pretty. You lift weights there, Elijah? A little bit.
3-4 days a week. Not even kidding. About 3-4 days.
You're so modest.
True.
This must be genetics.
I've been lifting for 30 years, man. 25 years. So it's just.
Oh, okay. I got you. That makes sense. You know, I go to the gym a little bit myself just to run.
Yeah.
But anyways, so again, I appreciate you coming on, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't heard or you just got on, Elijah Maine hailing in from a long ways from Washington for sure, though. But quick question for you: so I know that you were in the Navy. You said how many years?
20.
20.
Yep.
Do you think the 20 years benefited you in a good or in a negative way? Both.
I mean, I would say 100% positive, and that's just I have to say that my upbringing was not glorious. You know, it wasn't. I grew up pretty. I grew up without, you could say. I grew up in a trailer for the first 18 years of my life. My wife always tells me that she feels sorry for me because I kind of slept on a couch my whole teenage life. So she's like, I wish I could just take care of you. But so I slept on a couch. So I didn't have much growing up. So when I joined the Navy, it was awesome for me. I mean, I loved traveling the world, seeing the world. I've had some shitty times. I had some great times. Met my wife. I had some kids, started some businesses. So I mean, overall it's been great. I wouldn't be able to do any of that if I didn't join. Met some awesome people, throughout the time. Had great experiences. I mean, as a drill instructor, man, so I was a drill instructor for 4 years or 3.5 years, if you'll recall, but with the training and everything, it's about 4 years. But I mean, with that, I mean, it's just so rewarding. I mean, it sucks. It does while you're doing it. It's absolutely terrible, but it's rewarding at the same time. You see these kids come in and they're just these little weak, just kids. And then they leave like, straight and narrow, and you're like, I did that. That was awesome. That's what I'm talking about. I still get to this day. I got my recruits texting me and emailing me, messaging me on Instagram or something saying, I don't know if you remember me, but I was your recruit, 8 years ago. And I was just like, sad part is I do remember you. And if I remember you, that's probably a bad thing. But I do remember you, So I mean, overall, it was great. I mean, I wouldn't have anything I have. So.
Absolutely. That's good, man. I get that too. After I left in 2020, or excuse me, yeah, 2020. Even when I was there in 2019, um, I would be at Target with my family, and then all of a sudden, you feel like a shoulder tap behind you. Hey, are you so and so? I'm like, yes, just calm down. We're at Target, please. Don't make a scene. You know what I mean? Like they were super excited to see me. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so and then now to this day, I don't see too many of my recruits anymore, but it is an experience. It is rewarding for sure. It definitely sucks. I agree with you, but it is rewarding in the long run.
Yep.
So nothing but good things. You know, I've heard. I like one of my buddies where I'm at here now. They asked me to do Chief season. You heard of that?
Yeah, man.
Hey, I won't say anything if you don't say anything. You can let me in some secrets if you want before Chief season next year.
Bro, Chief season, man, let me tell you. So, Chief season, I tell people this all the time. I didn't play I played the game during when I was doing it. And then afterwards, when I have some selects reach out to me and they're like, you know, they have to call us genuines, like genuine chief. So I'm a genuine chief. I'm like, bro, it's relax. It's not that serious, right? But I get the purpose of it. I do. But I tell them, they're like, hey, what advice can you give me? And I was like, dude, I'm not going to give you advice, man. I'll give you the answers. I was like, I don't play the game. However, like I see the purpose behind it. I do, because I was that guy. Like when I was, the first question they're going to ask when you walk in the room and all the genuines are going to be there, they're going to be like, why do you deserve to be here? Your first answer is going to be, because I'm awesome, because I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And they're going to look at you and get the fuck out. And I'm just like, what? What are you that's why. That's why I'm here. I can give you the answer if you want me to, but it's a learning process. Throughout the 6 weeks, you learn. It's pretty much, this is the answer, and this is what I tell everybody. Throughout the season 2, you have a spoon. I give people spoons, right? Because it's pretty much, I'm about to spoon feed you. So here's your spoon. Whip out your spoon, because I'm about to spoon feed you this shit. Here's the spoon, right? A metaphorical spoon, right? So it's all of the whole purpose of season is to make you realize it's not about you. You didn't get here because of what you've done. You got here because of what everybody did underneath you that made you look good to be here. You got here because your senior leadership wrote you good evals, gave you good recommendations, put you on the right projects, put you in those leadership positions because they saw something in you. That's why you're here. Not in here because you're awesome. You're in here because your leadership saw something in you and the people beneath you did all the work for you. That's pretty much why you're here. And it's like, okay, so the whole point of that is for after the 6 weeks, your job is to take care of your people. Because then you realize, because it's not about you anymore. You made chief, you're good. It's not about you anymore. Yeah. Help them replace you. That's what it's about. So like the 6 weeks, there's your answer. So if you want to clip that and throw it on somewhere, and if anybody wants a sneak peek of like what chief season's like, that's the answer right there. I might get in trouble for my mess, so don't post that. Maybe don't do that. But I'm still in touch with like most of the people in my mess, man, because the mess is awesome. When you're part of a real mess, like through season, I love season, man. Season's fun. On the other side, like when you're not you going through it, but like on the other side, like season's fun, man. It's awesome. Because kind of the same thing with the recruits. You see you see him grow from like this, no offense, I don't want to offend anybody, like an arrogant first class. That's what I was. I was like awesome, right? And you realize, like, you know what? I didn't do shit. I really didn't.
Technical. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Oh, my bad. It froze a little bit. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It froze a little bit. But I think when he the way he got me, he goes like this, flips it up. I'm like, what is that? He goes, go through it and you'll get it too. I'm like, oh God. That's how he got me too. Stupid little pen.
He's got that. Okay.
He's got the little pen, the little cheap pen or whatever they gave him. Everybody has it here.
Yeah, little anchor. They'll give you a little anchor. Yeah. We were undercover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Gunny, shoot, I'm having a brain fart. Jesus. Gunny Cope. He showed it to me. He goes, "This is where we were." I'm like, "Oh God, calm down, guys. It's just a little pen." but I'll do it because it's pretty dope. I'll do
Yeah,
the
man,
pin. I want the pin. That's
it's
all I
fun.
want is a pin.
Yeah,
But
I had
anyways,
some Air Force cats go through season that we put them through. Yeah,
nice.
and they
So
gave them the
it's
combination
open to
wrap.
all parties.
Well, E7 and above, yeah.
Ah, I like it.
Well,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. I'm
in the
sorry.
Navy,
I
the chief rank, the E7 rank is the only, like in the Air Force, you go from E6 to E7 and it's like nothing. It's like cool, congratulations, it's another thing. I know Gunny's a huge in
Mhm.
the Marine Corps, but chief season, like you go in the Navy, it's a complete transition. Like your whole uniform changes. Like you get rid of your black pants, you get the khaki pants. That's why they're called khakis. But you get the black pants, put the khaki pants on. You get rid of the jumper cracker jack, we call them, with the little Dixie cup the Navy guys put on their head. You get rid of all that. All that goes away. You get your combination cover. You get your full dress whites. Like it's a whole change, man. It's completely different. So that's why there's like a whole the drastic change from
Mm,
E6 to E7 in the Navy than other branches. That's why like other branches come to our season, because they went like, hey, what is this?
yeah,
What do you learn in this 6 weeks? Let's go. Let's do this. So it's awesome when I see that, because it's like we're not any better
absolutely,
than,
dude.
I mean, we're not any better than a E6 or, I mean, E7 in another branch, but we just go through this particular 6 week kind of initiation, to kind of make you realize, okay, this isn't about me. Pretty much what it is.
It it it,
Long
it
story
is
short,
dope. I wish that I wish the Marine Corps would let me wear those peanut butters, man. Those are nice. All whites too.
oh,
Those are
dude, the
nice. Let
choker
me,
whites,
I'll
I
tell
love
you
them
what.
things. I still wear those. You can wear them retired now.
Those are nice. You,
You
those are
can. I wore
dope,
them the
man.
other day. I
If
wore
I
them
was allowed to
two
wear
months
them,
ago
I'd
to
be
a
rocking
wedding.
them. Look at you. Do they still fit? I know you swole a
Oh yeah,
diesel over there.
yeah. They still fit. It's snug, but they still
Um,
fit. But yeah, I mean, I had my beard and everything. It was great. First time wearing a beard and uniform. It was awesome.
that's dope, dude. But on that subject, do you think the Navy's better prepared you for your business endeavors? And can you elaborate on some tangibles, intangibles, and then if you want, just kind of hit the business endeavors that you're interested in, that you're doing right now, or that you're invested in right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say yes. So when I was in the companies that I currently have now, they're not my first companies I built. But my first couple I built were extreme failures. Like this isn't a like all of a sudden I created this awesome company because I was in the military. Not at all. I've created some shitty companies and they failed. It just there's stepping stones to it.
Hmm.
But a while ago, why I wanted to become an entrepreneur, I was living in base housing and I ordered
Okay.
Chinese food, right? And the Chinese delivery guy comes to the door and he knocks on the door and I get my Chinese food and he's like, "You're in the Navy," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm in base housing, so yeah, I'm in the Navy." And he's like, "I was too," and I was just like, "Oh, that's awesome." I was like, thank you for your service, etc. I was like, what were you? I was only an E5 at the time, and he was like,
Hmm.
I retired as a senior chief, which is an E8 in the Navy, and he's delivering my Chinese food. So I'm like, I clearly got to do something outside of this job, outside of the military, if I'm going to make it in this world, because
Yeah.
he's like the second highest rank you can possibly get delivering my Chinese food. Like, clearly, what you make in the Navy military is not enough to survive. I was like, I need to do something. So that's when I started building companies and like, I dabbled in it and then it failed and then deployed a couple times and came back and tried another one. My first semi successful company was called Military Muscle. I started that, built that up on YouTube pretty much. If you go to YouTube and type in military muscle motivation, you'll see this guy. But started YouTube videos, on YouTube videos have like, 6, 7 million views on the video. So it's turned out pretty good. But that company, I started that before I became a drill instructor. So during that time, you have no time at all when you're a drill instructor.
Yeah.
Uh, so I had to kind of pass that company off to my business partner, and then ever since I didn't take it back over, and I kind of parted ways from it. But recently, so pretty much me and my wife started a company called Curves and Combat Boots in 2017. It's a women's athletic apparel brand, and I mean it did
Hmm.
very good. I think being in the military absolutely helped, shape the way I lead my companies and the way I, lead my employees and my team, right? But chief season is 100% the reason why it was successful, because like what that taught me, again, it's not
Mhm.
about you. It's not about, if you look in the mirror and you blame somebody else, like for issues, taking accountability, taking ownership, all that stuff, you learn that in our chief season for the most part. And so I do the same thing. Like if I have an employee that didn't get a task done or didn't get a job done, why did they fail? First thing you got to look at is yourself. Did you train them properly? Did you give them the proper resources? Did you give them clear and concise instructions to what you wanted? What are your expectations, et cetera, et cetera? Most people don't do that. Most people, even me, I mean, my leadership growing up in the Navy, they say do something, you don't do it, and you're like, dude, you didn't tell me what you wanted me to do, when you wanted it done, how to do it, who to talk to, like, so you kind of learn the do's and the don'ts, but like being the chief in the Navy absolutely forged how I am as a chief executive officer. I was actually looking, this the term I tell people all the time. The word chief is the most important word in chief executive officer, 100%. So that just fits right there. Is like the word chief is the most important word in that title. So I kind of hold that, and that's how I run my companies. But yeah, curves and combat boots is the one that kind of pays for everything. Um, I also have a supplement company called Live Body. Live Body is a supplement brand. I'm partners with a fitness influencer, Paige Hathaway. She's my partner in that, and we have a couple other partners in the company as well. And then let's
Nice.
see, I'm building an app right now, so that's one. Coming soon next month, we launch it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Okay, let me give you a little hint. All right, so this app it's a dating app. But let me explain. Right. I've never used a dating app in my life. Never have, never will. However, so this dating app, a buddy of mine came to me with this idea, and because I don't like the whole hookup culture, I think it's stupid. I think the world and the dating scene with teenagers and kids, and it's just going to shit. But so this dating app is a little bit different, right? We haven't launched it yet, but I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek of what it is. So this dating app, it focuses on the chivalry and traditional roles of the relationship, and it focuses on the most important
Huh.
part of dating, and it's focused on the date itself. So let me explain what that means, right? Imagine if you want to go on a date with a girl, and a girl has in her profile, I want to go to the Cowboys game. Well, you will click that and say, I'll take you to the Cowboys game. Not like Netflix and chill, message back and forth and swipe, none of that crap. It focuses on the date itself. And the guy picks her up, the guy pays for
Hmm.
it. But chivalry and traditional roles, that's what we're going back to. And we focus on safety. But we won't get
Nice.
into the details of that kind of stuff. That's launching soon. You'll hear all that. But anyway, been working on that for a
Oh,
while. The app's been going on from building built for the past 2 years, and it's been awesome. Well, I have another venture as well.
that's
It's
dope,
actually
dude.
my most passionate, but there's a question on your thing here that actually segues into that. So I'll wait till you ask that question. I'll talk about the next company.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So there's obviously a lot of business endeavors, and obviously you have a solid foundation. And the military has, excuse me, not Marine Corps, but the military has provided that for you. Um, so to the next one, obviously you have some lessons learned. Not everything was a success, but not everything is a failure. It's obviously a lesson learned. Uh, in Obviously you touched a little bit already on what you've got going on and what you learned from the last ones. Can you give some lessons learned about your business endeavors and some advice for young service members that want to pursue the same thing as you?
Oh, absolutely. So I think in the beginning, my first company is like why they failed. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint why they failed, but I definitely have lessons learned. Uh, in the companies I've built since, not every year was smooth. Not every month was smooth. Not every day is smooth. You're constantly putting out fires, constantly. But I would say the biggest thing is this: you got to surround yourself with smarter people than you. You surround yourself with better people than you for the job, right? When I sit down at my table in my conference room
Yeah.
every, Mondays and Fridays, we do our operations meetings. I'm not the smartest person at the table, right? If there's somebody that can do the job better than I can do it, so that's why they're doing the job and I'm not doing it, or else I would just do it myself. The thing is like people nowadays, young entrepreneurs, right? Young entrepreneurs now, they have this ego and this chip on their shoulder, like it's my company, I can do this. This is mine. Do it how I want to do it. It's like you don't realize, man, you got to hire people and find people that can do that job better than you, and then you hire them, and then you
Hmm.
take their advice. Like, hey, how would you make this job better, this position better? If this is how you ran this particular lane, why'd you do it that way? Teach me, because clearly you know what you're doing and I don't, right? Not only that I don't, but you can do it better than I
Yeah.
can. Entrepreneurs grow up and they kind of really want to do everything and they micromanage, and that's the biggest downfall is they micromanage. When you're an executive or you have a higher level, if you own the company, you got to spend time on the business. You work on the business. You grow the business. You work up and out. The problem with a lot of young entrepreneurs or people who want to start a business, they don't realize you need to work on the business, not in the business. And the problem with a lot of people is they work in the business. They focus on the little stuff and the dailies and the all this stuff. Not even they're not growing their brand. They're working in the company, not on the company. And that's
Yeah.
huge lesson learned in the first couple of years in business. That's what I did. I was always in the company every day. I didn't realize I need to focus on the bigger picture. What's the mission? Why are my people following me? Why are my employees part of the company? Because you have to have a vision for them. But if you can't
Yeah.
view up and out on where your company, where you want to take your brand, then they don't know where they're going. So they're just coming to work, doing their job, and leaving. But if you have a clear vision of where you want the
Hmm.
brand to go, what you want the company to do, what you want the end game, because you're looking up and out, right? You're working on the business, then it's easy to follow,
Yeah.
right? So that's
Yeah.
one lesson learned. You could
That's
say maybe that's a couple in there, but I mean, we can go on a
that's a
full 3 hour podcast. You just want to talk about business and stuff like that. But I think that's
this
the biggest one is
is
surround
your
yourself
show. I'm just here.
surround yourself with smarter people than you. That's pretty much what it is, right?
So absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't hear that, I just talked to a buddy of mine, Jeremy Graves. He's got his own businesses coming up and running, and the same thing just last week and the week before that too is uh, you got to surround yourself with smart people. You are not the smartest in the room, and you got to humble yourself if you want to grow. You got to put yourself in circumstances that are they're going to chip away at your the molding block of Israel per se of me, right? uh, so that's good advice. It's definitely tools and toolbox. I'm learning something every week from somebody that I interview. And again, this is your show, Elijah. You go on as long as you want, but so obviously, do you have another maybe small tidbit? Because again, I'm taking notes. This is video recording. I'm taking notes as we speak. Do you have another maybe tidbit for young service members that want to be in the same shoes as you, entrepreneurs?
I would say you focus on a niche and focus on the brand. The thing is, right now, people want to say it depends what kind of business you're in. Like right now, I don't have a real estate business. I know what I know. I'm not going to preach about how to grow your real estate company because I don't know how to do that. Right. I'm an e-commerce guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dabbling in the app world right now. Um, but what I know in the e-commerce world is people buy from people. People want to buy from a brand they believe in and the brand that is a good brand. In their now, the term "good" is relative. So like my brand has a specific vision and a specific look, feel. We're very pro America and flag and red, white, blue, and I got blue line, red line, camel line. I got concealed carry leggings where you can carry, but some people are against carrying a weapon or against weapons. So when I say a good brand, that person might not like my brand because I believe in 2A and I
Yeah.
believe in carrying. So it's like they may not like my brand because of that. And I understand that. And that's fine. Do your thing. However, we also have to stick to our morals, right? But when it comes to building a really
Right.
foundation for your company, you got to have a niche and you got to have a story and you got to build a brand, right? People have to be able to follow that. But how do you do that, right? You got to
That's
have your
good.
own core value. So you got to develop your company core values and your personal core values. And your company has to operate. Everybody you hire, everybody within your company needs to operate on those core values. And if they don't, then they shouldn't be an employee of yours. If they don't, then they shouldn't be with you anyway. And that's how you surround yourself with the best
Hmm.
people possible because you have your core values, your pillars, if you want to call them. So that's, what I do with my companies. I mean, it's basic stuff like transparency, be transparent, take ownership. Uh, I have a long list of core values, but like the last one is my favorite one, to be a good person. Ultimately, just be a good fucking person. And it's like some people are just shitty
Yeah.
people. Like as long as you're not shitty to other people, you're not going to burn any bridges, and you're good to go. So if you're a young entrepreneur that wants to start a business, like think about what you want to do first. Really outline what you want to do. Like graph it out and actually write down what you want to do. I have conversations with people all the time that want to start a business, but they have no idea what they want to do, and that's fine. There's a lot of businesses out there you can either replicate. Nothing is original anymore. Like nothing. I started a legging company. Lululemon still exists. All these other competitors still exist, but I'm still making money, right? So it's like you don't have to come up
Yeah.
with something crazy original, but we have a specific niche, right? So you just have to
Yeah.
focus on what you want to do. And if you go to work every day and you hate what you do, then that's probably not what you want to do as an entrepreneur. Because there's going to be a lot of times you're not going to get paid. You're going to have people want to become an entrepreneur because they want to quit the 9 to 5, not realizing when you become an entrepreneur, you're
Hmm.
working 24/7. Like it's all day, every day. It is.
Yeah.
It's true. You're an entrepreneur. You got a podcast. It is 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 at night, and here you are in a podcast, but you want to quit the 9 to 5. You see what I mean? You traded the 9 to 5 to do this,
Yeah.
and it's like here you are at 9 o'clock at
Yeah.
night, and you doing your thing because of what you like doing. You see what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
enjoy. It's not work at this point.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like you just said, you're learning every day. You talk to
Hmm.
new people. This isn't a job at this point. You know what I mean? So it's like this is what people
Yeah.
need to think about what they want to do, because if it's got to be a passion of yours, and if it's not a passion, it's gonna become work. And if it becomes work, you're gonna dread doing it, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna come to work. You're gonna that one extra email you should have sent. You're not gonna send it today. You're gonna send it tomorrow. That one extra package you could
Interesting.
have packaged, you're gonna do it tomorrow. You see what I mean? You're always going to put it
Hmm.
off because it's work at that point.
Yeah.
There's no cutoff time when you're an entrepreneur. Sorry, it's a wrap. Like you're 10 o'clock at night. If there's a fire to put out, you got to put it out. It's your fault.
That's good. That's good. I was talking to, again, the last couple people on the podcast said the same thing. It's just you got to find a niche. You got to find a passion,
Yep.
and what that passion is, that's what you do. And again,
Absolutely.
I like to run my mouth, and therefore I got a podcast, right? And I'm
Hey
talking
man,
to
there you go.
Elijah and learning more about business and how I can do it. I can still do it. It doesn't have to be original, like you said, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening, if you're tuning in, it doesn't have to be original. Just do something, right?
Yeah.
That's the
How many
advice I can give.
podcasts are there? And you're still enjoying doing a podcast. Like it doesn't have to be original. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't.
Yeah,
It just doesn't.
yeah, absolutely. So on to my next. So I know transition is a big issue with service members, and it's just a check in the box formality for the most part in terms of military. And I understand. I think as grown men and women, we understand that the military. Um, Elijah, you there?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Okay. It says, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulty. Yeah, transition has been a ongoing topic for all service members, right? That transition either after 4, 8, and retirement is always the same issue. It's uh, well, same issues, right? Per se, it's not enough, or you need to take hold of your transition, your own transition in your in your experience, right? The 20 years of service. Has your transition from service member to civilian been smooth? Are you better prepared during that transition? Did they give you enough information to transition, or can they do something better?
I'm glad you brought this up. Am I coming in clear? Am I good?
The video's off, but it says live video will return when the internet improves. I just keep going because the audio is still recording. So even if I don't have this video clip, I'm still gonna have audio. Go ahead.
All right. So yeah. So let me. I'm glad. I wish everything was working good, because this is what I was talking about earlier. My other brand, my other company I built. We're good now. All right. So
Yep.
I'm glad you brought this up, and I'm glad this question was on your list, because let me explain this. So I retired in December of 2022 last year, and my retirement was not smooth at all. I have resources, I have people. However, my retirement was not smooth at all. I had a full blown retirement ceremony at my warehouse. The entire chain of command came, mess came, everyone came. However, the day that I retired was supposed to be retiring, they told me I'm missing signatures on my retirement paperwork. I'm like, didn't you just do a full blown retirement on me and I'm missing a signature? Like, no offense, but get your shit together, right? So that delayed everything for me. So I couldn't retire on time. And so I didn't get my DD 214 on time. So my family didn't have health care. My kids, wife, I don't care about me, right? I'll take Motrin. I don't give a shit, right? But when my family goes to the hospital and gets turned away because they're not covered by insurance, that's a problem for me. So first time in 20 years, right? All of it. The VA process, nobody helped me with nothing. I had to use my own resources to figure out my VA stuff. The retirement process, Skill Bridge, I got denied for Skill Bridge. And then post-retirement, not a single person outside of my personal friends has reached out and said, how's everything going? Nothing. It is out of sight, out of mind. I don't give a fuck about you anymore the day you're out of the branch, right? Let me explain this though. So this is why I did what I did. One of my best friends, Brian, he was with me throughout this whole time. He's a civilian guy. And he's been in like the financial industry for like, 30 years. But he was just like, isn't it like this for everybody? And I was just like, honestly, man, yeah. You hear about it the whole time. Like you hear about it your whole career. And that's why it's on your questionnaire, because this is a problem, right? So you hear about it your whole career. And then when you finally go through it, you're like, wow, man, it's true. Like this sucks. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody knows what to tell you. TAPS class is a joke. And then you have no one to talk to. And then when you're done, they don't give a shit about you. It sucks. Like it really does. It sucks. Again, I had my personal friends, my mess friends that have reached out, and we communicate all the time because we're in the mess, and I love it. They're my boys. But outside of that, chain of command wise, zilch, nothing. You're not even like nothing. It's crazy, right? Yeah. So this is what I did. And me and my buddy Brian came up with this thing. We got together. We said, hey, man, you're well off. You know what you're doing. You have resources. I'm well off. I have financial resources. What can we do to help these people getting out, right? So we created a program, completely free, by the way. So this is my passion. I've made plenty of money in my career. This isn't about money for me. This is why it's completely free, right? So we created a program called Military Retirement Solutions, MRS. You can go to militaryretirementsolutions.com and look this up, right? I map out exactly what to do for retirement, starting 18 months out, like 18 months from separating from the military. I map out everything that you need to do from 18 months out. SGLI replacement, skill bridge requests, the VA process, retirement paperwork, all of it, your DD-214, what to do afterwards, your DEERS, TRICARE, ID cards, you name it, I map it all out from 18 months out to the day you retire and post-retirement. I do it all for you, like with you. I do it with you, right? So I created that program because this program is needed. That's why we created it. So it's called Military Retirement Solutions, and this is my passion. Because I do what we're doing now, but it's not really a podcast. But I do Zoom calls with people with service members that are getting out, that are retiring. They're 18 months out from retiring. They're 10 months out. They're 20 days out. They're 30 days out, whatever it is. And I have Zoom calls with them and explain to them exactly what they need to do. Because their commands, and I understand why, though. I understand why the command has no idea what to do and what to tell them. Because they've never done it before. Yeah. If you have an E5 that's sitting in there in the admin office explaining to this 20-year chief how to retire, how do they know? They've never retired. So they didn't go through the VA process, so they don't know what to tell you. They didn't do skill bridge because they don't know what to tell you. You see what I mean? So I understand it, but it's crazy that this is still a problem. And it's 200,000 service members are retiring every year, right? So, but this is a crazy problem. So I created this program, and it's only been live for 90 days now, right? 120 days maybe. And I've had Zoom calls. Me and my buddy Brian, we do this together. We tag team it. He hits the financial side, I hit the military side. And we tag team it, and we've done 120, 130 Zoom calls with service members retiring. strictly word of
Nice.
mouth. We don't advertise it. We don't do anything. It's strictly word of mouth, and we help people transition out, trying to make it smooth, not stressful. You'd be
Yeah.
surprised the stories that we hear on these calls, man. It's pretty. If you could be a fly on the wall on some of these calls, it's nuts, man. We have calls all the time about I'm 10 days out from retiring, and my command doesn't even know I'm retiring. It's like what? It's like what? Like what? Like how does that even
Oh
happen? Like they
man.
submit for retirement online. You know, they submit for
Yeah.
their paperwork, but then the command doesn't even know. And they're getting out. They're
Interesting.
trying. I'm like, it's a joke. So anyway, you want to
Yeah.
ask about my transition? My transition was not so good. I did it well because I, have my own resources. Uh, but I created this program specifically to help people. That way, when they're transitioning out, I guide them through every step of the way, and it's
Yeah.
100% completely free.
So it's not that the organization doesn't know. It's just the people in the spots don't know.
Well, I think the thing is like they know this information is out there, but nobody takes the time to actually walk the person through.
Hmm.
Nobody takes the time. And I have every person I talk to, I say, hey, send me what your command gave you. Send me what your command gave you so I can see, like, how can I make my program better? Because that's what I help do as well. How can I make my program better? But also, like, what are they giving you? I want to know. I'm curious. And the information is there. Like, roughly it is. But it's this long fucking email or this long, crazy document. No one's, dude, you're a Marine. You be honest. You're not going to read that shit, right? You're going to look at this thing like, what? Like, somebody just tell me what to do, please. Because this document is nuts. And like, it's crazy. They just want to be, you just want to be kind of told what to do and when to do it. Not really this crazy long document. And so the command knows what to do, maybe. But they just have this document they send everybody. Like, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
This is how you get out. And it's like, this is what's crazy to me because, so I was a recruiter for 3 years here in Dallas. By the way, I sucked. I'm a terrible recruiter because I'm not good at lying, right? I can't, like, when someone says like the only job I could get is like a cook, I'm like, it's probably not a good job. Like I'm just being honest with you. Like I can't lie to you,
Yeah.
So like I wasn't a good liar, so I'm not a good recruiter. So they pushed me. I was on it's called the Warrior Challenge Scout. So if they want people to want to be like Navy SEAL, SWIC, EOD, Area Rescue, the Navy diver, they came to me. So that's what I did for the last like 2 years of my career. But anyway, I was a recruiter for a little bit, right? So it's crazy because as a recruiter, we will do everything in our power to get that person in the military. Like your recruiter did. You got to do paperwork. I'm going to show you how to do it. You got to go to this location to go sign in a MEPS. I'm going to drive you there myself. Right? I'm going to pick you up when you're done. I'm going to take you home. I'm going to drive you to the hotel. I'm going to drive you to the airport. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold your hand throughout this whole process to get into the military. Then when it comes time to get out, they're like, here's this document, bro. Have good luck. It's like, what? Like, like it's crazy.
That's
Holy
fair.
shit. Blows my mind. We do all that hand holding with all that to get people in the Navy. But then when it comes to time to get out, they're just like, yeah, good luck, man. It's crazy.
That leads me.
So.
I have a question, right? Yep. Not a rebuttal, just something to think about.
Please,
because I'm with you. I just hear Marines getting out. The struggle is real. But my question to you is, some people would say it is your transition, not the Navy's, not the Marines, not the so on and so forth. It's your transition. So if you don't take ownership of your transition, then we have issues the way we have issues now. Is that factual?
No, that's correct. Yes. So my response to that is going to be, what did I tell you? What did I tell you was the whole purpose of chief season? Take care of your people. Your job is to take care of your people, right? Ouch. The Navy's organization should take care of their people, right? Because regardless, I'm still going to be, Navy is going to be attached to my name for the rest of my life. I'm a Navy retired chief, right? You're going to be a veteran your entire life. Take care of your people, right? Like you asked me, how do you run a business? I take care of my people, right? Yeah. Now imagine if I'm going to get rid of an employee or they're going to quit or they're moving on to something else, right? What if I just said, yeah, good luck? But no, I take care of my people, right? So they have the military is its own organization. It needs to take care of their people. Look what we have nowadays. Homeless veterans, that's a joke, man. Like, really? Like,
Yeah.
if that person was taken care of, that problem wouldn't exist.
Yeah. Is
So
it?
yeah, I 100% agree with you though. Take ownership. It is your transition. It's my transition. That's why I did what I did. I did use my own resources. I figured it out, right?
It's
But
fair.
take care of your people, man. Like, if I wish, did I need the help? No. Did I wish I got offered the help? Yeah, I would like to know that somebody was there if I needed it.
Hmm.
You know?
That's a
I
good
hear you
point.
though. I do. I hear you though.
Yeah, that is a good point, man, Elijah. I appreciate that because then you touch on it. It's always a touch point for the podcast, the sessions when people come on. It's always a touch point. Transition.
Yep.
Why do we have homeless or why do we have the suicide thing? And it's always, you know, just you mentioned it earlier. It's just once you get out, everybody drops you. They don't. It's like I decide on mine, like you said. It's just bye on to the next one, and you kind of feel like a number, right? And that number is a 10-digit number. I know you know yours, right?
Yeah,
Still,
absolutely.
so
Well, that's
it's
man. That's you hit on the head, man. It's sad. That's the thing is it's pretty much sad. Like having these calls with these service members getting out. I always ask like, what's the thing you're going to miss the most, or even all the retirees that I talk to all the time. So being with the program I built, I get a lot of retirees that reach out to like, hey, I retired 2 years ago. How can you help? It's crazy. The number one thing they miss is camaraderie. The number one thing they miss is like just being part of something. And it's like that blows my mind. So that's part of why I'm building this program as well. Part of my program, I have people that also can be part of my program and help push the program that I'm pushing.
yeah,
And they can be part of that. And then they hop on calls with Marine guys, Air Force guys, Chief guys. It doesn't
yeah,
matter at that point. Of course, you want to be like, hey, I'm a Marine. I'll be with a Marine too. But in the end game, you just want to be somebody you relate with. Hey, bro, you deployed.
yeah,
I serve. You too. What's up? You know, that's pretty much what it is. It's like it's a
yeah.
different language, man. We speak we're our own like our own tribe, if you will. I don't know what to call it. Like we're our own. Like it's
No,
crazy because like
that's
we speak our own language, and we speak a language that no one else is going to understand unless they also did it as well. You know,
yeah,
when you
that's
talk
good.
about gun or just command in general, like command, chain of command, it's like you realize civilians don't use those terms, right? It's like you know,
Yeah,
so
that's good, man. Elijah, I appreciate you touching that point. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard, if you just tuned in, this is Pit Talk, Pulling Pits and Opinions. Um, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Anyways, um, yeah, follow us, like us, subscribe us everywhere you get your podcasts or on Spotify, on social media. Thank you for tuning in. We got Elijah Maine. Um, but yeah, it's very important that we just not drop ourselves because every week on every week they say the same thing, and it's just weird if it's the same issue every week and nobody's addressed it. Maybe we should address it. Maybe we should do something about it, or add some more applicability to the TAP program, right?
it's
Even
perfect.
have even have Elijah Maine on it and say, hey, this is what happened. These are the do's and don'ts of this part of the transition, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, so TAPS class, like the thing is, it's government owned, it's DoD owned, so it's never going to change. It's really not, and that's the sad. It's sad. That's the truth, though. It's the truth. Like it sucks to say that, but it's true. So what my here's my like I told you, you got to have with every brand, you got to have a vision, right? My vision is for my brand, my program MRS to be the program that's talked about in every TAPS class. Not to replace TAPS because it's never going to happen because that's DoD owned and the government's not going to own my program. It's not going to happen unless they take it. But I live in Texas, so come and take it, right? But so like the goal is my program. I want my program talked about in the back room, in the back, the back row of every TAPS class. Like, hey man, this is mandatory, but check this out. This guy built this program. Go follow. They know what they're talking about. One-on-one calls. They'll help you out. They'll walk you through this whole thing, right? That's my goal. I want every TAPS class so that they just be in the back, like, check the box. Let me go talk to this guy. That's my goal.
Yeah.
I want enough people to be able to do that. I can't do it myself, right? But I want
Yeah.
enough people on my team to be able to do that because you're right, it's needed. And it's crazy that everybody talks to it every week on your podcast, that it's that needed. and it's crazy. So I'm trying to do something about it. That's my goal. So we're gonna start doing in 2024. We're gonna start doing base to base trainings on base about our program.
Wow. Look
Yeah,
at
bro.
you,
I got
Brandon.
plenty of CMCs and the E9 and above. I got plenty of them and that are my text buddies. And they're like, hey, I can get you this base, this base, this base. And I'm like, let's go, let's keep it coming, because we want to spread this thing nationwide. So
Absolutely, man. That's dope. Hey, if you don't know now, you know MRS. Check it out. So to my next point, which flows right into my next point. So obviously, the transition, we can do better. We can provide better outlets for service members. Do you think as senior leaders, we can, there's a lot of hush hush, don't talk about it, blah blah blah. Do you think healthy discourse about certain topics are welcome and should be in the workplace? Vice, no, because the order says no.
like what? Give an example.
So let's just say, I don't know if for what is it, prohibited acts and acts and conducts, or what is it, the PAC order, what is it called? I don't know what it's called for you.
I mean, yeah, but like what though? Like what would be like? Give an example. What do you mean?
Let's talk about something political, right? I don't know.
Why our commander in chief's a joke, like that? You talking about something like that?
That is your opinions, Elijah. That's not my opinion. Again, but something like that, or what happened in 2020, what happened in 2021, what's currently happening now, how the country is so divided. Do you think that as service members, as senior leaders, those discussions should be had because Marines are in the know, or are they not? Or I'm sorry, service members.
Well, so and this is what's crazy. I mean, I'll touch a little bit just because some questions that I had, right? And do we talk about it in at work, my workplace? We don't talk about politics. I don't allow it. Because for some reason it's too touchy right now. Even though like I have your own opinion, I'm not gonna think differently of you because you have a different opinion than me. That's the problem with the world nowadays. The problem with the world nowadays is if you have a different opinion than me, then I hate you. And it's like, why? So we can have the agreeing 90% of our conversations, but we have a disagreement on one thing, and now we can't talk and can't be friends. It's like, what? Like. Disagree with me. I don't care. Like let's have a debate. Let's do this. We'll still have a drink afterwards, but it's like, who cares? Like you have a different opinion than me. Doesn't mean I can't like you or hang out with you. We have a different opinion, right? But for instance, people ask me the number one thing somebody asked me I want to say in the last like 6 to 8 months was, how do you feel about the Ukraine situation? Right? Do you support Ukraine? That was the question. Do you support Ukraine? That was the question. And my answer was, I don't know. And they didn't like that answer. They're like, well, do you or do you not? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I served for 20 years. I did 12 deployments, a lot of combat zones. I've never heard once the country Ukraine in my 20 years in the military. And now all of a sudden we're these best friends with them that we're sending billions of dollars to because we got to support them. Like, I don't understand, like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
I've never heard of us ever even of them being in any situation with us, ever. Pull out of Afghanistan, dump all of our money in Ukraine. What? How we pulled out of Afghanistan? Like, bro, we all know, you sir, right? We all know when any change happens like that, that is a long process. Yeah. Like I helped pull everybody out of Iraq. That's part of what I did. I was going to Taji, Ramadi, Basra, all over the place, shutting down bases, tearing down jocks, ripping apart, like just dismantling the bases that we built, right? Yeah. That process is a long fucking process. But all of a sudden we pull out in 2 weeks. It's like, what? Like, I'm confused. So I get in trouble for not turning in a gas mask. But you can leave billions of dollars of Humvees, aircraft, fucking tanks. Hold on, I'm confused. Like, how is this okay? So again, it just raises the question, like, the why. Like, nobody knows why. There's theories, conspiracies, but what's the actual why? I'm curious now. Like, when this comes out in 5 years, 10 years, 15, whatever it is, it's going to come out eventually like why 2020 to 2023, 2024 happened the way it happened. There's going to be, it's going to come out eventually. I'm very curious about why all this, because I've served for 20 years. I never heard of Ukraine until all this crazy stuff. We're giving them, $50 billion. I'm like, I've never even heard of this. What are you talking about? So I got to ask that a lot. Like, are you on the side of Ukraine? I just don't want people fighting and dying. That's the thing. I just don't want people dying. Like, I'm not on either side because people are dying on both sides. I just want people to stop dying. But it's like, my son's probably going to bedtime, so he's probably going to run in here and try to tell me goodnight. But.
Okay. No, I got you. I got I won't hold you too much. I know your family is a big
family's number one, man. Family's number one.
Do you think that was the case all 20 years, or it just recently became the case?
So, my wife's pregnant now, right? I'm 39 years old. I'm about to have another baby, right? So I'm 39, about to have another kid. My second youngest, my youngest is not born yet, but my second youngest, my youngest now, Jackson, he'll be 2. So I have a newborn and a 2. So I'm going to have 2 under 2 for like a month, right? And everybody asks me why. They're like, dude, you're 30, 40 years old. Like, aren't you done with it? I'm like, let me explain this, man. Like, I did so many deployments in my 20 years. Like, I've missed so much. I've missed birthdays, holidays. I missed births. I missed it all. I'm done missing shit, man. Now the fact that I'm not going anywhere, I want to do it all over again. I want to be there every step of the way. I didn't meet my daughter till she was 4 months old. I don't want that. So when my wife was just like, hey, honey, like, let's have some more babies. I'm like, let's go. Like, bring them on. 1, I love being a dad. Being a dad is the best job in the fucking world. 2, I want to be there for everything. I don't want to miss anything. Now that I finally have the opportunity not to miss anything, I'm game. So families recently. I mean, again, I've back when I was younger. Now, I mean, I deployed. I was happy, and it was okay. But now, man, as you grow up, you realize all the things that you missed. Yeah. So
that's good, man. That's good, because that's where. Do you think maybe we should think about it sooner than retirement, or is it at retirement we probably should? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's good. Hey, Elijah, again, I thank you for coming on. I mean, I learned a lot just from me and you, and I know you got my digits. I got your digits.
Yeah,
and,
man.
You're in my call log now. So now if I'm just throwing it out there. If I need information, I know who to call.
Absolutely, man. I'm an open book, man. I'm literally retired. Hey, this is all I do now. I just talk to people.
Absolutely. Hey, so where can they reach you at, Elijah? What social media handles can they reach you
at? It's Elijah Maine 1, ELIJAH, Maine like the state, and then the number 1, because Elijah Maine somehow was taken, so I had to put 1 at the end of it. I was like, what? Okay, but yeah. So that's my Instagram.
Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you know. What's that?
So you guys aren't getting my cell phone number. It's not happening.
Hey, only the special ones.
Right? There you go, man.
Hey, I like it. But if you don't know, now you know. Elijah Maine, thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time. I know that I took it away from your family. I got to go take care of my newborn too. So
that's what I'm talking about. Yes. How old?
He's 2 weeks. 2 weeks old. Yeah. So
he doing a podcast.
My wife is thoroughly indoctrinated, and we support each other in all of our endeavors.
Oh, that traditional roles, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
so same thing as you. I had the mentality. Me and my wife, we talked about it while we were in Hawaii. Whatever was in the Hawaii water, it got us pregnant twice.
I've heard that a few times, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a 15-year-old, 12-year-old, and now we have a 2-year-old and a newborn.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was the same. It was the same thing. I am more senior in rank, and I have more time because I'm not in the grind per se, right? So it's definitely rewarding, and I want to be available. So that's why we're doing it now. And the other day, she did mention, a 5th one. I'm like,
hey,
take it easy,
join the club, bro. Join the club.
Yeah.
Right. This is all I'll say for all the people listening out there. If anybody's listening to me talking still, but like the biggest tip of advice I would give, especially missing so much stuff, you can relate. When I say it, you're going to probably agree. To having kids, being a dad, number one thing in the world is just be present. You
Yeah.
got to be present. Get off the goddamn phone. Don't watch TV. Like, be present with your kids, and that's it. You're going to miss it 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You're going to look back and be like, man, I wish I was there for all of it. So just be present. That's what you need to be.
Yeah.
Is it? That's all
That's
your kids
dope.
need is time. Be time and fucking be present with them. That's it.
Iron sharpens iron. You have sharpened me
Absolutely.
tonight during this session. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you know. Elijah Maine. This is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions. And we out. Let's see here. Stop recording. Stand by, contact. Ceasefire. Stand by, contact. Ceasefire.
Pit Talk is a podcast featuring active service members who discuss their thoughts and opinions on various issues surrounding military life, current events, and history. The statements heard here are the opinions of its members and guests. These do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense and are not endorsed or sponsored in any way. Listener, viewer discretion advised.